Everyone, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. And I got asked the other day a following question, which I almost blew off at first until I did some more research about it and discovered something interesting. Thus, I wanted to share it with you and all my subscribers. And the question is, Dr. Sam, I have high blood pressure and I was watching your videos about lowering it so far. And for the past 3 months, I've been able to get off my blood pressure drugs by using your diet changes and supplement recommendations. However, I have a question about Himalayan salt. I read that it's toxic. Is this true? I thought it was natural and good for you and better than regular white table salt. I'm super confused. What do you say? Now, before I start with the Himalayan salt topic, I wanted to point out the fact that high blood pressure is actually not caused by adding some salt to your foods. Salt isn't even the primary cause of high blood pressure. It's more of a hormonal imbalance and an aging thing. And I know this because my dad's side of the family has very high blood pressure. And because of this, I had to learn how to lower it naturally. And I'll tell you more about this at the end of today's video. Now, in regards to the Himalayan salt actually being toxic, my first thought was, no, it's not. Anything actually in excess can be toxic, including water. However, before I reply back to that question with a quick no, I decided to do some research. And yep, I found a few articles stating that Himalayan salt is in fact toxic, or it could be toxic due to high levels of lead, which is a heavy metal, and you don't want this in your body. And just to let you know, lead is actually a naturally occurring element found in your body, in the environment, and actually the foods we eat. Heck, it's even found in the air we breathe. But you just don't want anything added extra to it, to your body if possible, right? Anyway, the amount of lead in Himalayan salt is very, very, very small. It's nothing to be concerned about unless you're having, tablespoons of salt every day, which in that case, you can have other health issues. So now I have actually, I have Himalayan salt daily myself, probably about maybe half a teaspoonful daily. And these days I actually have more Celtic salt instead. I just like the taste of it. It's slightly healthier, right? But not that big of a difference. The only negative is that it's called a wet salt. So you can't put it in a regular salt shaker because it'll just stick to the walls and it won't come out the hole. So you basically just take a pinch of it and put it in the foods that you eat. Now, getting back to Himalayan salt, a lot of people state how Himalayan salt is, healthy because, it has 84 trace minerals, including potassium and calcium and iodine and magnesium, iron, zinc, and others, which sounds great. However, the reality is that there's just very small amounts of these minerals, nothing that'll make much of a difference in your life. All right. Now, as you can see in this chart, the table salt, all right, regular white table salt, may have a little bit more sodium, but the pink Himalayan salt contains more calcium, potassium, magnesium, and iron. Again, amounts that are not even worth mentioning or going to make any difference in your life. And since we're speaking about regular white table salt, what are the main differences, pros and cons as it compares to Himalayan salt? Honestly, the only real benefit to regular white salt is that if you get the ionized version, which contains iodine. Now, these days, many people are actually deficient in iodine, which is a shame since it has many benefits. One of the main ones is improving thyroid function. Thus, if you are having a hard time losing weight and thus may have a slower metabolism due to less thyroid production, taking iodine will help speed up your thyroid and increase your levels. Obviously, doing a blood test first would be ideal to see where your levels are. So you can also take iodine as a supplement or eat more seaweed or actually just take some ionized salt. However, white salt does have extra additives that you may not want, such as fluoride, which is actually a toxin. Also, anti-caking agents that prevents the grains of the salt from sticking together. Remember how earlier I said how Celtic sea salt is wet and sticks together? This is one of the reasons. It does not contain anti-caking agents or additives. And white salt actually does cost much less than Himalayan and Celtic sea salt, so that's one of the benefits to white salt. So let me give you a summary and bottom line. Himalayan salt is not toxic, even though it has very low levels of the toxin called lead. One of the biggest promoted benefits about Himalayan salt is that it contains about 84 trace minerals, but the levels are so low that they're not really even worth mentioning, or there are no real benefits. White table salt does have two main benefits. It's obviously way cheaper than Himalayan and all the other salts. And the ionized version is good for slow thyroid because it contains iodine. And a big negative with salt is that it contains additives that you may not want, such as fluoride and anti-caking agents. So go ahead and continue using your Himalayan salt, or do what I do. I use more Celtic sea salt the majority of the time. And don't worry about the adding salt about raising your blood pressure and all that. The majority of salt in your diet that's bad for you comes from packaged foods, not from when you add to your diet from salt. So the real cause of hypertension is actually the change in your hormones due to aging. And you can get more details about improving your blood pressure and still enjoy eating salt by visiting the special link below this video, where I reveal how I quickly lowered my dad's blood pressure in just a few days. No diet changes or drugs. You can use the same formula and hopefully get similar benefits and results.